The following presentation concerning the MMTLP Options Clearing Corporation memos comes from the much longer video MMTLP 101, also known as the case against Brenda Hamilton. While some point to the volume of trades in the 14 or so months that MMTLP traded as reason to doubt the size of the potential imbalance, when you understand that the obligations from shorting TRCH carried over into MMAT and MMTLP, it makes it easier to understand. What's also fascinating about the OCC memos is that similar to FINRA's MMTLP corporate actions, they both serve the purpose of delaying settlement. But more than that, the OCC memos underwent multiple revisions, just like the MMTLP corporate actions. And while the OCC paved the way for MMTLP to become tradable, FINRA also played a pivotal role, as well as ignoring the complaints of the issuer. Then, when you understand that the SEC has oversight of both the Options Clearing Corporation and FINRA, and when you're aware of the negative view that the SEC has of short squeezes, you can't help but wonder if the SEC has been the puppet master the whole time. Now we have to return to this quote from Hamilton's Wells Notice blog post. Somewhere along the line, a fairly small number of traders bewitched by dreams of enormous, zip code changing short squeezes became aware of MMTLP. For reasons not clear to us, they became convinced the preferred had been excessively shorted, and probably shorted naked. In reality, there was never enough volume to suggest that any kind of shorts were seriously interested. We just discussed the fact that there's evidence suggesting that short interest in TRCH was being hidden overseas for upwards of 6 years when it was trading on the Nasdaq. The high in TRCH leading into the merger was somewhere in the $11 range. Anyone short TRCH before the reverse merger should have been aware that if they held on to their short positions, they would then be obligated to provide 1/2 share of MMAT due to the reverse split, and 1 share of the Series A preferred share in order to close each share of TRCH shorted. Metamaterials was a green company. They couldn't continue to be associated with Torchlight's oil and gas assets. Torchlight's investors held TRCH through the merger because they were under the impression that it was the only way to get the Series A preferred share that would represent Torchlight's oil and gas assets. Regardless of anyone's current opinion of the legitimacy of this plan, it was reviewed by and made effective by the SEC. So, Brenda Hamilton would have you believe that multiple years of hidden short interest and what she refers to as a scheme to make short sellers pay only resulted in TRCH reaching just above $11, and that it was foolish for a fairly small number of traders to believe MMTLP was excessively shorted. But Hamilton completely sidesteps the evolving memos that the Options Clearing Corporation distributed only to select market participants. The June 21, 2021 memo shows that options for TRCH became available for the first time just before the reverse merger. This was highly unusual, as it would have required a lengthy review process, and to do so with an impending reverse merger had the potential to cause confusion among investors. Maybe this is the reason household investors weren't notified. What's interesting about this first memo, and what shows that Torchlight wasn't involved, is that the memo both says that it doesn't know the trading status of the Series A preferred share, but it also references the May 2021 Torchlight proxy that indicated the shares wouldn't be listed on a national securities exchange. Then, on the second page, under the header Delayed Settlement, it reads as follows. The TRCH component of the TRCH1 deliverable will settle through National Securities Clearing Corporation, NSCC. OCC will delay settlement of the Series A, preferred share component of the TRCH1 deliverable until the trading status of Series A, preferred shares is determined. Upon determination of the trading status of Series A, preferred shares, OCC will require put exercisers and call assignees to deliver the appropriate number of shares. So again, Brenda Hamilton makes it sound like investors were foolish for believing there was an abundance of short interest in MMTLP due to there not being volume. But she completely ignores the fact that the Options Clearing Corporation provided an escape, seemingly telegraphing that the Series A preferred share would become tradable, even though they knew that the proxy indicated that shares weren't expected to become tradable. Days after the initial memo, the June 25, 2021 memo provides an update that explains how options would be affected by the 1-for-2, MMAT, reverse split, etc. In a sign that Torchlight and Metamaterials still weren't involved with the creation of this memo also included the information about delayed settlement for the Series A preferred share. According to the January 25th memo, OCC will delay settlement of the Series A preferred share component of the MMAT1 deliverable until the trading status of Series A preferred shares is determined. Upon determination of the trading status of Series A preferred shares, OCC will require put exercisers and call assignees to deliver the appropriate number of shares. Then, on October 8, 2021, another OCC memo was released to announce that the Series A preferred share became tradable as MMTLP on October 6, 2021, and that they weren't eligible for CNS settlement. According to the memo, the settlement for the MMTLP part of the options changed to a broker-to-broker basis for all settlement taking place June 28, 2021 and thereafter. This means that if a buyer wanted to exercise the option, they needed to find a seller directly instead of going through a central clearinghouse. Then there's this part. In determining that delivery of the MMTLP Series A preferred shares is in fact not possible in respect of a given exercise or assignment, OCC shall require an appropriate officer of the delivering clearing member to represent in writing that delivery is not possible. Upon exercise or assignment of MMAT1 options, OCC will contact each delivering clearing member to provide the specific requirements and procedures for such representation. Pursuant to customary OCC broker-to-broker settlement procedures, inability to effect delivery may subsequently occasion cash settlement as determined by OCC. In other words, if a buyer couldn't get MMTLP shares, the settlement might be delayed or changed to cash settlement, meaning the buyer might get money instead of the shares. By including a contingency for delayed settlement or cash settlement, the OCC appeared to recognise the potential liquidity issue related to locating the MMTLP shares that were already held. Where's the OCC memo that explains the transition from MMTLP to a non-tradable, non-DTC eligible security? Now, in the Fourth OCC Memo, the MMTLP component was subject to broker-to-broker settlement due to the MMTLP shares not being eligible for CNS settlement. However, as of October 12, 2021, MMTLP shares became eligible for settlement at the National Securities Clearing Corporation, NSCC. Therefore, all exercise and assignment activity for the MMTLP component of MMAT1 options from October 12, 2021 and thereafter will no longer be subject to broker-to-broker settlement and will settle through NSCC. There's also a line in all caps at the bottom of this fourth memo that reads as follows: all clearing members are requested to immediately advise all branch offices and correspondents on the above. This was a crucial directive within the memo. The added emphasis clearly demonstrated the importance of disseminating the information to all relevant parties associated with the trading and/or settlement of these options. It is curious, though, that FINRA claims NSCC settlement couldn't have occurred for the trades that took place on December 8, 2022. The presumed reason for this is due to the U3 halt that was initiated before the December 9th trading day could begin. But a community member that spoke with the NSCC says that the NSCC wasn't involved in the settlement and clearance of MMTLP. This, of course, is referring to trading and not options. But it's strange that FINRA makes it sound as if the NSCC was involved the entire time. This calls into question FINRA's ability to keep an accurate account of the FTDs, because without the aid of the NSCC, there's limited oversight, reduced visibility, and an increase in the potential for manipulation. This concludes the presentation. If viewing on the X platform, a link to the full video can be found in the quoted post below.